Can a Christmas cake be baked on the barbecue? I guess we'll find out. Instinct is telling me that it will char and dry out. Take some boiling water and tip it on your dry fruit and leave it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, drain the dry fruit of that horrible water which smells like tea. After you skin the orange and lemon alive and pit the dates, you will be left with something looking a bit like a Chinese pork meal. So after you put the Chinese barbecue pork in, add the dried apricots, which smelt really bad, the zest of the 2 citrus fruit, and a third cup of that brandy, which took 3/4 of that bottle, and just drizzle that on and stir. I end up using a lot more brandy than I should have. So cover that, and it's not a necessity to put it in the fridge, just leave it at room temperature overnight. Use an 8 to 10 inch pan. I'd measure it with my dick, but the pan's too small and it would be an inaccurate reading. You may have noticed I didn't put the cherries in the fruit last night because you've got to tip a little bit of flour and then mix that. Think of the floured cherry as a Saving Private Ryan sticky bomb. It's to prevent it from sinking to the bottom. Although in that movie they did put it at the bottom of the tank's wheel. Put butter in the bowl and about a 1/3 cup of oil. I am omitting the brown sugar this time and substituting it with rice malt syrup and maple syrup. I mean, the way I see it, who needs all that extra sugar when you've got, even that dry fruit mix box that is laced with sugar. So we'll keep this for after. Egg 1, egg 2, and egg churn. Have your orange and lemon juice and sugars ready, and it's 3/4 of a cup of plain flour and maybe just a 1/3 or a 1/4 cup of almond meal. Preparation is the key. Get all your spices together and in with your flour and almond meal, and in with all the spices. Up next is all the substituted sugar. And then you add the lemon and orange juice. Pour a teaspoon of vanilla essence. In the tradition from childhood, whenever you baked a cake, of course you had to sample this. Okay, here's the cool part. You put half of the fruit mix into the batter. It makes it easier to stir. Don't clump it in as one. And then you stir the other half in. And lastly, put the sticky bombs in. So take your batter mix and dump it into the pan. It's not a big cake. And there it is. I have to wrap it now in a lot of baking paper and foil. Really wrap it. I don't know about poking holes in this stuff though to let it breathe. Due to the intensity of the heat from the barbecue, I want to flip this every 10 to 15 minutes. Really wrap this good and proper, as we don't want any carbon monoxide poisoning. This is extremely hot. It barely fits. That's what she said. I'm gonna keep flipping this because I don't want that high intensity heat burning one side. I detect a bit of burnt smell, so that's no good. We're looking for slow bake heat, not intense. I don't want it burning. That's the heat I'm looking for, when you can hold your hand over the vents and not be scalded. It saddens me to say that this is a complete and utter disaster. It's coming out wet and it's soggy here. It's been in for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think it's a fail. Burnt on the edges too. I ripped all the shit off and we'll just cover it back up and leave it for another hour. I had high hopes for this one and followed it by the book. What a major disappointment. So I was just down in the fruit cellar and I unearthed this Book of the Dead creation. Tell me that doesn't look like the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Is there any fucking point stabbing at this to feed it more brandy? Fucking pointless. So what does the living dead actually taste like? It looks like a piece of Kentucky Fried, and the back looks like a charred tree stump from a lightning strike. And that in the background looks like a big pile of shit. I don't know whether it's horse or cow. You know, if I hadn't charred that, it's actually quite nice. It sort of tastes like a muesli bar. So the living dead tastes like lunchbox snacks. If you want to play a sick joke on somebody this Christmas, then go ahead and bake them one of my barbecued Evil Dead Christmas cakes and give them a taste of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Sorry about the mixed messages, but this is actually fucking delicious. You know, you got this charred lightning strike tree stump here, but the salvaged piece inside, just try the piece and the flavor, it's bamboozled me. It completely did a 180. Now it's a shame that this was a failed, can you see that? The failed experiment. The birds are getting that, but this piece here, holy shit, it actually worked. What the hell? Look at this. This is the majority of it. It looks like a big dog shit. Plop, plop.